All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another day of Read Rich and Righteous, where we are reading Rich and Righteous: Spiritual Secrets and Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. We've been on this journey for 36 days now. We've been on this journey for 36 days. A couple of you said, Jullien, I missed a couple of the sessions and they're out of order on YouTube. So can you number them? So I started numbering the sessions for you on YouTube so that you can find them and you can actually go in chronological or linear order if you are trying to catch up. If this is your first time joining us, we've been here for 7 weeks now, going through this process of reading this book to make sure that we keep our mind state in a state of abundance as opposed to scarcity. We know that the collective consciousness continues to talk about recession, scarcity, poverty consciousness, and in order to counter that, we actually have to be pouring into our own cup and actually be putting in thoughts of abundance. See, the way the world operates is based on entropy, and entropy is where things naturally tend to deteriorate if you do not give them attention. So for instance, if you've ever seen a piece of real estate, you know, I love real estate, right? If you've ever seen a piece of real estate just sitting there, it's been sitting there for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you would think that it's just a set of bricks, drywall, etc., and that it would be fine to just sit there. But what happens is when something sits there and there's no attention or intention given to that particular space, it starts to deteriorate. And the same thing with our mind. If we just allow the external programming from the outer world to program our minds, then we will naturally gravitate towards what the external world does and what it values. So we are taking this time at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday to make sure that we are being intentional and giving attention to the thoughts and the visions that we ultimately want to manifest here on earth. Remember, heaven is our mental state of life, right? Our mental experience of life, and earth is our material experience of life. So when we talk about heaven, we're not talking about some place that you go to when you die, right? And we are talking about the greatest good that you can imagine for yourself and others in your mind. That is heaven. And when the greatest good that you can imagine for yourself and others aligns, right, with up here, when it aligns with your material experience, then that is when you experience in heaven on earth. We are here to bring heaven on earth, not to be on earth and be rushing to get to heaven, right? So many people think that heaven is some place that you go to after you die. Then why are you not rushing to die? If heaven is some place that you go to, some magical place that you go to after you die, why aren't you rushing to die? Right? So religion and church have convinced you that there's this magical, mythical place that is better than this experience that we have here. But Jesus said, I am come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. The life is here. The opportunity is right here. The kingdom of heaven is in your midst. It is here and now. It is not some place you go to after you die. Once you die, you return to spirit. So we have this opportunity while we are here in this physical body, right? As we come through our mother womb as spirit, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we have this opportunity to play this game and to have fun with it. But we've been convinced otherwise, that heaven is some place you go to where it's better after you die. They convince you that death is better than life, right? They convince you that you are a sinner. We've talked about that in the previous chapters. And so we are here to counter that, to recognize that, one, we are children of God, right? And that a perfect being could not make an imperfect creation. A perfect being that we call God could not make a mistake straight out the gates, right? So we know that that in and of itself has to be a lie, because perfection comes from perfect. Now, I'm not saying that we are perfect in terms of that we get everything right. When you come into this flesh, right? When your spirit comes into the flesh, we are still learning our bodies. We're still learning how to use our minds. And when we don't know how to use those things properly, then we start to make mistakes. We start to hurt other people and things of that nature. So, but the creation itself is perfect as is. You are perfect, whole, and complete. And I know that you don't get told that enough. In fact, you get told the opposite. And we talked about that yesterday as well. People call you ugly. You end up going and buying beauty products, getting your body done and things of that nature. And you end up uglier than you originally were. God made you perfect. That mole that's on your face right here or right here or right here, guess what? It is perfect. It is meant to be there for a reason. You see, Cindy Crawford, I don't know if her mole is real or not. I thought it was real. Her mole, she made millions off of that mole. But some people are over here trying to remove moles and things from their face because they think it's an imperfection. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if you saw yourself as God sees you, you would recognize how beautiful you are, not only physically, but more so spiritually. You would recognize how beautiful you are if you saw yourself as God sees you, not as religion sees you, not as church sees you, and not as your minister sees you, not as other people see you. If you saw yourself as God sees you, you would realize how beautiful and amazing and abundant you actually are. And so that's where we are beginning our day. And we are on page 175. We are on page 175. We are continuing our chapter. This is actually our last section in the chapter on how the rich and righteous speak about money. We've been talking about the power of your word this week. And this week I've been telling y'all to shut up, because if you only understood the power of your word, you would realize how some of you are actually casting negative spells and curses on your own life based on the words that you speak out of your mouth. Right? We know that life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? And we know that our word shall never return void. So we have to be more mindful of our word. And some of our lives would change simply if we just shut up, if we stop talking, okay? Now, that is not the ultimate state. That is not the ultimate goal. We then want to use our word to bless and to build and to breathe life into ourselves and into others. And when we're talking about the word, we're not just talking about the word that comes out of your mouth. We're also talking about the self-talk that goes on here. What somebody says about you does not matter in comparison to what you say about yourself, right? I am. All right. So today we are talking about the power of yay or nay, yes or no. Again, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we are reading Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation in Your Mind. You can get the book at moneyandmanifestation.com. I pinned that on YouTube and I pinned it on Instagram. It is also at the link in my bio on Instagram as well. The book does cost $100, right? But yes, this is not a $10 book. I'm sorry. This book is going to make you thousands and thousands of dollars once we change and reprogram your mind. Okay. Mindset has stopped millions from making millions. Mindset has stopped millions from making millions. And so here we are focused on your money mindset, because that's actually what's been blocking. You don't have a money problem, you have a mindset problem. And this is the part that most people skip. See, a lot of people are so locked in on financial literacy right now. Financial literacy tells you how to do something with money. Okay. That's the how. But financial spirituality, which is what I teach, talks about who you are in God and who God is in you. And once you stand in that beingness, then your being shapes your doing and your doing shapes your having. And so we are focused on the being. I'm not trying to give you, if I give you more wealth strategies, okay? If you watch another YouTube video on how to make money, if you watch another Instagram reel on how to make money, but that information lands inside of a poverty consciousness, it will not take root and it'll be futile, right? So we are focusing on tilling the soil of our Garden of Eden, the soil of our subconscious mind, so that when we get divine ideas, when we get $1 million ideas, they can actually manifest. Many of you have had $1 million ideas over the course of your life. If you had $1 million idea, type me. If you know in your heart that you've had $1 million idea before, type me. Type me. If you know that you've had $1 million idea before, type me. So you've had $1 million idea. You got a divine download, but your mind, your subconscious mind, your money mindset was not ready to receive and act on that $1 million idea. Therefore, many of you are not millionaires yet. Keyword is yet. Do you understand that? If $1 million idea comes to somebody who has a millionaire mindset, it will take root and it will start to multiply. But if $1 million idea comes to somebody in poverty consciousness, then that idea will not take root and somebody else will pick it up. The seed will get scattered and somebody else will pick up that seed and put it into the subconscious, to the rich subconscious soil. Remember, what's rich is the subconscious soil. Do you have rich soil up here? Because you can put a great seed into bad soil and it won't grow. Is the soil of your mind as rich as the seed that you are trying to receive? Is the soil of your mind, your subconscious mind, as rich as the seed that you are seeking to receive? When the seed and the richness of the soil match, that's where you multiply 100-fold. Where the richness of the soil and the seed match, that is where you reap 100-fold. And so most people have just been focused on the seeds today. And then through this process, we are focused on tilling the soil, pulling out all the weeds that have been blocking you from manifesting and growing the life that you desire, right? Because as we'll get into it later, you are guard inners. You are a guard of your inner. You are a guard inner. And when we get into the 4 steps of manifestation, PWWP, later on in later commandments, you'll understand your role as a guard inner of the Garden of Eden, which is the purest mind that you have. All right. So welcome. Please like and share this video. The only way to break and crack these algorithms and these codes that are actually limiting the reach. You heard about TikTok, right? You heard about TikTok and how the Chinese own TikTok, and the algorithm they use to show to their own children and their people are things like STEM research and things that are helpful to their society. But in the algorithm on the United States side, they show us people dancing, people doing stupid stuff, a lot of humor, right? A lot of failure attempts and things of that nature, right? They do that on this side. So we have to crack this algorithm, because the algorithm, it shows us things that are not, that might be funny, that might be shocking, but that are not really helpful. And so the only way to truly break these algorithms is through human interaction, through you saying that this kind of content is the kind of content that I want to see. And in fact, later on in the book, I'm going to show you how your life is operating in the same way as Instagram operates. I'm going to show you that your life is operating in the same way that Instagram operates. When you like something, when you heart something, when you share something, when you comment on something, you get points. And Instagram says, oh, that person wants more of that. And they start sending you more and more of that, which you've given attention to. And your life operates the same way. But we're not there yet, but we'll get there later on. So I want to welcome everybody to Read Rich and Righteous. We're here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday. This we are almost halfway through the book, family. We've been here since mid-November, and yep, by mid-January we will be done with half the book, and this will probably carry us through March. And so thank you for showing up. Please set a phone alarm for 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please set a phone alarm for 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do not want to bombard you with text and emails. So please set a phone alarm if you found this space to be valuable. We have 265 people on YouTube. And so for my YouTubers, we only got 108 likes. It costs you nothing to like this video. So please like this video. From all my Instagrammers, please, for all of my Instagrammers, please hit the heart button and hit the share button so that more people can get this information. It's absolutely free, costs you nothing, and I'm providing you with tons of value. So in exchange for that, that's all I ask. Okay. So with that, we are on page 175. We are on 175. Yes, shout out to all my West Coasters. At 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know we got something good when people are waking up at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Pacific Standard Time every single day to be here. So my East Coasters, you have no excuse. You have no excuse. All right. So we're on page 175, and let's get it in. All right. Again, if you want to get the book, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com or the link in my bio in order to get the book. All right. There are also people in chat. If you bought the book, type RR. If you bought the book, type RR. If you bought the book, type RR. So for those of you who do not have the book, okay, and you are in scarcity consciousness right now, meaning that you don't feel like you have $100 or you're not willing to pay $100 for a book, right? Because of your life circumstances, there are hundreds of people typing RR in chat right now. These people have all received 5 copies of the book. 1 is for them, 4 is for them to give away. They are looking for other people to give the book away to. And so you have the opportunity, rather than saying, oh, I don't have $100, I can never get that book. Instead, you can ask from a place of need, not neediness, not victim consciousness, not scarcity. You can ask from a genuine place of need that, hey, I don't have $100 right now because of my money mindset, but I would happily cash app you some money for shipping if you would give me one of your extra copies. And I promise that I'll read it. And not only do I promise that I will read it and use the book, it won't just sit on my shelf as shelf help, right? But that once I step into a state of abundance, once my heaven is actually matching my earth, right? Once my mental experience is matching my material reality, I will buy the book for $100. I will get 5 copies and I will pay it forward. I will do the same thing that you did for me for other people. Okay. So it's okay if you are in a temporary state of lack right now. It is a temporary state. But remember, the lack that you are experiencing right now is a delayed result of the thinking that you had months or even years ago. The lack that you are experiencing right now is the harvest from seeds you sown in the past. So even though you are here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now, you are planting new seeds. And this is where I've encouraged all of you to be patient, because the moment you plant a seed is not the moment you harvest. So we are planting new seeds right now, richer seeds into a richer soil, so that in the near future, you start to see the abundance that comes from what you are planting today. Listen to me very carefully, family. You do not want to manifest immediately. I know some of you want to be rich right now, and you are internally, okay? But I know you want that to match externally right now. But think about that. If you manifested immediately, think about all the negative thoughts that you have in your life. Think about the negative thoughts that run through your mind. What if those also manifested immediately? What if those also manifested immediately? You see, the law doesn't care whether you have a negative thought or a positive thought. The law is the law. Okay, these universal laws are just law. So it doesn't care if it is a negative thought or it's a positive thought. So this is why some of you, not some of us, most of us want a time delay between our thought and the thing. We actually want a time delay, because if we have a negative thought, that time delay gives us time to deny and remove and uproot that negative thought before it actually manifests in our life. Do you understand that? So the law operates whether the thought is positive or negative, it operates. And if you manifest it immediately, the moment you had a negative thought or a positive thought, it manifested immediately, your life, many of your lives would be in shambles because of your thought life. Your physical life would be in shambles because of your thought life, because of all the negative thoughts that run through your mind. If those manifested immediately, you would all be in trouble. So we don't actually want to manifest with speed and immediacy, okay? We actually want there to be a time delay so that we can be sure that that is what we want. And that time delay also gives us opportunity to actually believe. It puts us in a state of believing and faith in the unseen. It gives us that opportunity to believe in it. And that belief is really an indication of your desire, or that you actually want that thing. That period of belief, but between the moment you thought about something and the moment you received it, is that period of belief is the time that allows you to say, this is what I want and what I need in my life. We actually need that time delay. Do you understand that? We actually need that time delay. Okay. Cool. So we are on page 175. Okay. We're on page 175, and the chapter is called Yay or Nay. So I need everybody to stop being so impatient. This is a process. Many of you have had 40 years of negative programming around money, and you want to turn it around in just 4 weeks. It's going to take a little bit longer than that, family. It's going to take a little bit longer than that. It took me, from the moment I quit my job, January 2009, it took me about 10 years to deprogram 30 years of negative programming around money. It took me 10 years to deprogram 30 years of negative programming around money. Now I'm trying to shortcut that process for you. I've taken my 10 years and put it into this, and we're reading this book in 3 to 4 months. So the 10 years that I took to deprogram, I've condensed it into 3 to 4 months for you. Okay? That is the purpose of this. This is the power of books. This is the power of transfer of information. All right. So we're on page 175. Right now, what were we, 550 last week? We are now at 560 people at this moment in time. So the community keeps growing. Thank you all for sharing and liking and hearting. You are actually seeing the demonstration of moving in righteousness, and how when you have God in your cells, when you're not just relying on the physical body, right? When you have God at your cells, you see how things expand and grow right here. The universe is always expanding. So anything that is in alignment with that will always be expanding. Therefore, you should always be expanding when you are in alignment. When you're not in alignment, you start contracting. Okay. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all for being here. And thanks be to God for this space, this little community that we created. In a matter of a few weeks, we created this beautiful community. So many of you, I see familiar names and faces in chat. And so I see a lot of people coming back on a day-to-day basis. And so that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right. So page 175, yay or nay. But let your communication be yay, yay, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Matthew 5:37. Okay. So translating that is saying, in your communication, let it be yes or no. Do not be wishy-washy. There's no in between. Oh, maybe I'll do it. I'll think about it. Give me a second. No, your communication needs to be yay or nay. When you look at the matrix code, what is the matrix code? The matrix code is zeros and ones. The matrix code and computer programming code is zeros and ones. Those zeros and ones are simply yeses or nos. There's no in between. There's no 0.5s. There's no 0.6s. In computer code, it is yay or nay. It is yes or no. And we have to operate in the same way. And the reason some of you aren't manifesting at the level that you desire is because you're operating in the in between. You are never a full yes and you are never a full no. Right? And so your energy is split. And we know a house, which represents a mind, divided against itself cannot stand. So we have to be fully committed to things, right, in order for them to manifest. And so that's what this scripture is really talking about. Okay. My competition is not another person. No external evil or devil is trying to deceive me. That's what religion is convinced you to. There's a devil out there outside of you that is trying to deceive you. Most of the characters in the Bible, okay, are actually characteristics inside of you. Most of the characters in the Bible are actually characteristics inside of you. Judas is the self-sabotager of your higher self, which is your Christ consciousness. Peter is the self-doubter in you. The 12 disciples or 12 disciplines are characteristics inside of you. They're allegories of characteristics inside of you that you must command, that you must lead, and that you must serve. When Jesus is washing the feet of disciples, why would he do that? Because the feet represent understanding. He's washing the understanding. It is symbolism of washing their understanding so that we can move as one unit. So there's no external devil trying to deceive you. Okay. If anything, the devil's inside of you. We look at the word devil, and the devil is the word backwards. The devil is the word lived backwards. So when you were living backwards and you're not getting the results that you desire, you were not bringing heaven on earth, that's when you were being the devil. That's when you were being the devil. Listen, when Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan," right? Watch this. When Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan," when you were walking towards the sun, where's your shadow? Actually, let me give it the other way. When you were walking away from the sun, when you were walking away from the light, where's your shadow? When you were walking away from the sun, where's your shadow? It is in front of you. When you were walking away from the sun, your shadow is in front of you. Okay? Now, when you were walking towards the light, when you were walking in righteousness, where is your shadow? It is behind you. So when it is talking about get behind me, Satan, it means that I just need to turn my attention towards the light. It is not this external entity that I'm saying, get behind me. No, it means that I am walking in righteousness and towards the light. Therefore, my shadow self is behind me. It is no longer in front of me because I am walking towards the light, not away from it. Giving you some scriptures, giving a whole different meaning to some of these scriptures you've been reading for a long time at the surface level, at the literal level. There's nothing outside of you. In fact, your entire life is happening inside of you. Your life is not happening outside of you. It is happening inside of you. It's happening inside of your mind. If I put on some virtual reality glasses, some Oculus glasses, okay? I have perception that I'm in battle. I'm shooting up, I'm playing Halo and I'm shooting up people outside of me. But the reality is that all I have on is some glasses. And where is that game really happening? That game is actually happening inside of me. It's not happening outside of me. Have you ever considered that your life is happening in the exact same way? That it is not happening outside of you, but that is actually happening inside of you. And your eyes are not receivers, but they are actually projectors of your internal reality. Your eyes are not receivers of information. They are more so projectors of your internal reality. If you watch this, if you think that all men are dogs, guess what? If you put that thought into your mind and it is rooted, then guess what? When you look out in the world, what do you see? All you see is dogs. If you think that all women are witches, when you put that belief in your mind, what does that do? It shapes your perception. And all you see is witches. The most perfect man could walk up to you, the most perfect woman could walk up to you, but you wouldn't be able to see them because you have an internal belief that all men are dogs or all women are witches. So it is actually your internal mind, it is your internal reality that is shaping what you perceive as your physical reality. We ain't even started reading. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to keep you forever. When I move, I move. All right. So my competition is not another person. No external evil or devil is trying to deceive me. The cartoons of a red devil on the left shoulder and a white angel on the right shoulder are personification of the spiritual warfare within our minds. My competition is the highest version of myself I can conceive of in the heaven of my mind. The difference between who I want to be and who I am today is what drives me. Coach is a better word than competition because my best self wants to catch up and be because my best self wants me to catch up and be my best. And the secret to closing that gap is recognizing that who I truly am is even greater than who I am right now. Who I truly am is even greater than who I am right now. This is why the Christ in you says, you will do even greater things than these. Your higher self knows that you will rise up within yourself. You will resurrect within yourself. If faith without works is dead, then faith with works is life. Acting on the truth will set you free. The greatest act of faith is acting on faith. They say that the truth will set you free. Not actually true. It is acting on the truth that will set you free. And the greatest act of faith is acting on faith. The greatest act of faith is acting on faith. You can't just say, "Oh, I got a lot of faith, but I'm just going to sit right here." The greatest act of faith is acting on faith. If you don't act on faith, then you don't truly believe what you say you believe. You say that all things are working together for my good, that all things are possible, right? Abundance is my birthright. But you're not acting in alignment with those things, so you don't truly believe them. Because if you truly believe them, you would close the knowing doing gap. You know that that's true, but you're not doing it. That means that you don't truly believe it. In fact, excuse me, you believe that it's true, but you're not acting on it. Okay. Knowing is a higher level of confidence than belief. This is why in religion they tell you to believe, because they don't want you to know. In religion, they say, "Oh, I'm a believer." Well, it said, "Asking you shall receive. Knocking the door shall be open unto you." I'm supposed to be a knower, not just a believer. Now, there may be a stage in my journey where I do have to be in belief until I can actually see it and know it and experience it for myself. But I actually want to be a knower. I don't want to be a believer. I want to be a knower, not just a believer. And the only way that I can become a knower is by actually experiencing it in my own life. Not just reading it in a book and saying, "Oh, I believe that." No, I have to test out what I read and see if it actually unfolds for me. And then my experience, once I experience something, then I know it's true. But if you're telling me just to believe, "Oh, just be a believer," Are you a believer? No, I'm a knower. I'm a knower. I'm meant to know. My mother, father, God wants me to know the truth. It does not want me to operate in 100% belief for my entire life. I'm supposed to know these universal laws so that I can use them to bring heaven on earth. I'm not just supposed to believe in them. So now it is time to put these heavenly ideals and ideas into practice here and now down on earth. We know that Jesus said, I can of my own self do nothing in John 5:30. And the Father who dwells in me doeth the works, John 14:10. Given that, what is your role in the manifestation process? Are you supposed to just sit back and relax? Yes and no. You are supposed to take a back seat to God. This is why Jesus also said, not my will, but thine will be done. Luke 22:42. And you were supposed to relax by taking the path of least resistance, which is trusting God. The path of least resistance, it does not mean be lazy. The path of least resistance means that I am 100% trusting God. Why would my creator create me for a purpose and then not give me everything that I need to succeed at that purpose? That's what gave me the faith, the belief, on January 9th, 2009, at the bottom of the last recession, to leave my job and still move out to start doing this work. Because I was taking the path of least resistance. The reason some of you are so stressed in your life right now, because you're actually taking the path of most resistance. And the path of most resistance means that you are not in alignment with your creator. You are not in alignment with your purpose. This is why you're stressed. People say, Jullien, how old are you? They don't know how old I am. They have no clue. Because I have a childlike spirit. Why? Because life has not beat me up because I've been in alignment. I haven't been stressed trying to push against God. I've been walking in the joy of my purpose. And there's no better feeling than that. And there's no easier way of being than that. Now, do I have challenges in my life? Right? Are there obstacles that I have to overcome? Yes. I'm not saying that it's just an easy walk. It's one thing to get in alignment. The hardest thing is actually staying in alignment. One of the ways I stay in alignment is my morning meditation. One of the ways I stay in alignment is being here with you. Okay? So the path of least resistance is actually trusting God. But you still have to work. You still have work to do in heaven, the mental side of life, and on earth, the material side of life. Manifestation does not work without man. You see the word manifestation? Everybody type man hyphen estation. Everybody type man hyphen IFESTATION. Type manifestation. Okay? Everybody type that. Man hyphen estation. I need you to see it for yourself. Manifestation does not work without man. It does not work if you don't work. But this is a different type of work. This is not some long to-do list type of work. This is mental work. That is what we are doing right now. This is mental work that we are doing. There's no real to-do list item for this except to show up. Okay? So manifestation does not work without man. Family, we just got to 609 people. We just got to 609 people, 359 people on YouTube and 250 people on Instagram. That's a beautiful thing. We are on page 176 now. Many people think that the success of their life will hinge on a few major decisions. Granted, some major decisions tend to have a significant impact, such as who you marry, your career path, and where you choose to live. But even those decisions don't fully determine success in life. Warren Buffett lives in Omaha, Nebraska, and lived apart from his first wife, though they never fully officially divorced. And he is doing fine financially. So you think you need to go to New York to make money? You think you need to go to LA to make money? You think you need to be in a certain place to make money? Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in the world, lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Okay? So these are all myths. These are all myths. While there may be critical turning points or forks in the road along your journey that you can point to in hindsight, the success of your life will be determined by the small daily choices you make consistently. The ultimate success of your life will not be determined by some big radical choice that you made. It will be determined by your small daily choices. Are you happy right now, today? Are you happy right now, today? If happiness is going after what you want, then hesitation is the opposite of happiness, since it is not going after what you want. So ask yourself, are you happy? Happiness is going after what you want, right? The opposite of happiness, not going after what you want, is hesitation. So the reason some of you are not happy is because you hesitate. The reason some of you are not happy right now is because you hesitate. Everything that you desire, you hesitate to go after it. You're not a full yes. You're not a full no. You hesitate. You're in between. You're lukewarm, and lukewarm gets spewed out. When's the last time you truly went after something that you truly desired, that you truly wanted? It could have been a job, could have been a scholarship, could have been a significant other or a potential partner. It could have been a material thing, some shoes that you wanted or some clothes that you wanted. Could have been a car, could have been a house. When's the last time you wholeheartedly, this is what we're talking about, wholeheartedly, when's the last time you wholeheartedly went after something? Now, I'm less concerned with whether you got it or not. What I'm more concerned with is, when is the last time you actually wholeheartedly went after something? In fact, when we do go wholeheartedly after something, like that girl in 5th grade that you wanted to go after, okay? And you went after it and they rejected you. Then from there, now as a 5th grader, all of a sudden you stop going after things wholeheartedly because you were afraid of the result. But again, happiness is not about the result. This is why they call it the pursuit of happiness. This is why they call it the pursuit of happiness. Happiness is actually the journey of going after what you want. When you're going after something that you want, it is an exciting time. But when you hesitate and you don't go after what you want, you just live in regret. Okay? You live in regret. And the number one thing that people say on their deathbed is all of their regrets of things that they never did, that they wanted to do. Choices are cerebral and in our heads. They don't become decisions until you externalize them through action. When you know what is right, don't hesitate. Proverbs 6:4 says, don't put it off, do it now. Don't rest until you do. I'll add that you won't rest until you do what you know you should have done while you were here on earth, which is your purpose. The reason some of y'all are having trouble sleeping at night right now, the reason some of y'all got to get intoxicated to go to sleep, the reason that some of y'all got to do certain drugs to go to sleep is because you're not doing what you were called to do. So you have to sedate yourself. I sleep like a baby. Within 2 seconds of my head hitting the pillow, I am asleep. I rest in God, and I rest knowing that I am doing my best to stay in alignment with God and doing my purpose on a daily basis. The reason some of y'all have trouble sleeping has nothing to do with, sleep apnea and all these other terms that they want to give you, has nothing to do with that. It's because you aren't doing what you were called to do, and you know it. This is why you can't rest. This is why you can't rest. You don't get a chance to rest. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. When you were a kid and you didn't do your homework, you were avoiding it, playing video games outside, playing tag and stuff like that. Your parents would not let you go to sleep until what? Until the work was done. Your parents would not let you go to sleep until your homework was done. You groggy, you complaining all you want, but you can't go to sleep until the work is done. Y'all not doing the work. You're not doing the work that, oh yeah, I work hard, Jullien. Yeah, you work hard for somebody else's purpose that's not in alignment with yours. You checked off all these boxes in life. You checked off all these boxes in life, but you want to know the one box that you failed to check off is the one thing that you were created to do. Oh, well, God, I achieved this and I achieved this and I got an award for this and I graduated from here and I made this much money and I have this house and these assets. I checked off all these boxes. You checked off a lot of boxes, but you have failed to check off the one box that I created you to check off. You failed to check off the one box. I don't care about none of those other boxes. I created you for one specific reason and purpose, and you have not checked off that box. And you've actually procrastinated on it by checking off all these other boxes. These other boxes were distractions. Those are worldly things. Your degrees and how much money you made and how many houses you have on your stock portfolio, this and that, the trips that you took. All of those are worldly things. You failed to check off the one box that I created you to check off. Procrastination feels like an escape, but it is really a trap. I find that I rest easier when I've done what I know I was meant to do for the day. I create a to-do list. I create a to-do list, not a long to-do list. I focus on completing two major things that are aligned with my purpose every single day. That's it. Then I can go rest. I nap, family. Kindergartners Ben had it figured out. I nap. I'll finish one major thing. I will nap. And then I'll finish another major thing. I have a to-do list. Some of you value how busy you are. Some of you take pride in how long your to-do list is. I have a to-do list. Two major things that are in alignment with my purpose that day. And if I continue to do that consistently, let's say I am working every single weekday, that's 400 things that have moved me closer and closer and more in alignment with my purpose. 400 things that I've achieved over the course of that year that have moved me closer and closer and closer if I'm working only weekdays. Some of us take pride in how long our to-do list is, but nothing on your to-do list really matters. If I ask you to look at your to-do list right now, most of the stuff on your to-do list does not matter when it comes to eternal life. Most of the things on your to-do list do not matter when it comes to you leaving a legacy and impacting the world. They're busy work. A lot of the things on your to-do list are busy work. There's a difference between being busy and having impact. We're not looking for busy work. Okay? We're trying to make an impact. We're trying to bring heaven on earth. Did you bring heaven on earth today? Did you move heaven closer to earth today? Yes or no? My day is complete when I complete those two things. We're on page 177 now. We got 2.5 pages left. Next to I am, the next two most powerful words in the English language are yes or no. Yes or no. Your life is a result of a binary sequence of zeros and ones, or yeses and nos, just like computer code, or how your DNA is a unique sequence of adenine, which is A, cytosine or cytosine, which is C, guanine, which is G, and thymine, which is T. Okay? Your DNA is just code. It's just code. Express or not express. Express or not express. Does this gene express or not express? Yes or no? It's all code, family. We're all yeses or no's. So the two most powerful words on top of everything is I am. Okay? Then from there, the next two most powerful words are yes or no. And genes either express or don't express. They're either on or off. This is why the creation story is known as gene ISIS. Did y'all realize that? Did y'all see that? You wonder why the book is called Genesis? Because it is about your genes. The first four letters of the word Genesis is genes. This book is about your genes. And if you were able to decode the allegories, you'll be able to see that it is telling you exactly how your body and your mind work and how to use them. Genesis is the instruction manual that came with your soul. Gene Isis. Isis was an Egyptian goddess. Israel, Isis, Ra, El. Isis was the Egyptian goddess. Ra was the Egyptian sun god. El was not a Babylonian god. El was you hear El Shaddai, etc. El was not Babylonian god. Another god of that time. Israel, Isis, Ra, El. It's all there, family. You just got to be able to see it with this, not these. That is why the creation story is known as gene ISIS. If you're going to write a creation story, wouldn't you write it about the actual genes in the body? Isn't that how creation is unfolding? But the writing is so beautiful that it speaks to our actual genes while also personifying those genes in that story in terms of characters. So beautiful. This is why that book is so timeless. All right. It is a story of how certain genes began expressing themselves through mankind. In the same way, every day you are making thousands of yes or no decisions. Before you leave home in the morning, there are hundreds of small daily choices that you do or you don't make. Will I wake up early or not? Will I show up for Read Rich and Righteous or not? Will I exercise or not? Will I meditate or not? Will I have floor time with my kids or not? Will I kiss my significant other or not? Will I make up my bed or not? Will I express gratitude or not? Will I drink water or not? Will I eat healthily or not? Will I check email or not? Okay. So just to check off one of my yeses, let me do this real quick. Yes, I will drink water and I will demonstrate through action. We think these small choices are insignificant, but because they are daily, they add up to be bigger than the big choices you may be waiting on. You can't get to a new crossroad in life without taking hundreds of small steps to get there. These small choices compound like money. If you start with 1 penny and you double it every day for 30 days, you will end up with $5,368,709.12. Did you hear that? If you start with 1 penny and you double it every day for 30 days, so 1 penny to 2 pennies to 4 pennies to 8 to 16 to 32 to 64 to 128, we're just in week 1 now. If you continue that process for 30 days, you would end up with $5,368,709.12. Momentum is magical, but first you must become aware of all the choices you were making or not making, so that you can make them with intention. Every day, my base self and best self go head to head in the ring of life in shadow box. Every day, my base self and my best self, okay? You have to choose which one you're going to serve that day. Are you going to serve your base self or your best self? Please let me know in chat. Are you going to serve your base self today or your best self today? You're going to serve your base self today or your best self today? You get to choose. You get to choose by the sequences of yeses or nos you make today. Okay? Every day, my base self and best self go head to head in the ring of life in shadow box. It is me versus my inner me. I'm not undefeated. I'm going to be very transparent with you all. I am not undefeated in the ring of life. Some days, my base self gets the best of me. Some days, my base self gets the best of me. I'm not undefeated, but each day I wake up and simply try to win the day. Sometimes my lower self gets the best of me, but overall, I have a winning record. The more my best self wins, the weaker my base self becomes. Yay or nay, yes or no, best self or base self. Those are always your two options. The more you choose your base self, listen to me. The more you choose your base self, the more basic your life will be. The more you choose your base self, the more basic your life will be. The more you choose your best self, the more you will live your best life. It's that simple. Base self, basic life. Best self, best life. So these little choices add up to either a basic life or to your best life. You get to choose. Stop waiting on these big moments. Stop waiting on lottery tickets. Stop waiting on Prince Charming to come save you. Stop being a damsel in distress. Stop waiting on your employer to see your worth and to take you from here to C-suite. Stop waiting on these big things. Focus on these small daily choices that add up and build momentum in your life. We're on page 178. These little choices ultimately shape your life. Matthew 5:37 says, "But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for who whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil." You only ever have two choices: your base self or your best self. It's either yay or nay, yes or no. One moves you towards hell and the other moves you towards heaven, which are both states of mind while you are alive, not places you go to after death. Here's how you know. Some of you are experiencing hell on earth right now. Your life is in shambles. Some of you are experiencing heaven on earth right now. Some of you are transitioning from hell on earth to heaven on earth through these teachings. So these places are not places you go to after you die. They are how you are experiencing life right now. Is there a match as above, so below? Is there a match between your mental experience of life and your material experience of life? That's it. Heaven or earth. In the same way, your DNA strands are uniquely sequenced together to create who you are. Your daily choices get sequenced together to create what you experience. And through your daily choices, you can reprogram your DNA. We almost always have a choice. Oh, Jullien, I can't quit my job right now. I can't do that. I can't leave him right now. What you mean you can't? Who told you that? There was only one time in my life, and I'm gonna prove it to you, y'all. There was only one time in my life where I didn't feel I had a choice. And that was when I was 18 years old and I got held up for my car at gunpoint. I felt powerless. I felt powerless in that moment. But even then, guess what? I still had a choice. Even though they weren't good ones, besides life and death situations, we always have a choice, but we convince ourselves that we don't. You say you can't do something. I say, does somebody have a gun to your head? Then what you're saying is not true. With the exception of life or death situations, you always have a choice. Anytime you use the language pattern, I have to, that is an indication of limited, non-creative, powerless thinking. You simply aren't aware of the other possibilities from your perspective, which is shaped by your programming. There is a spectrum of probable, possible, impossible, and infinite possibilities in which we categorize everything we want in life. For some people, earning $100,000 per month feels probable, while for another person, only earning $10 an hour, that may be in the realm of infinite impossibility, which is beyond impossible in what they can even conceive. So some of you are like, oh, some of you are in a state right now where you're like, man, I just want to make $100,000 in a year. And that feels probable for some of you. Okay. I'm at 60 right now. I know six figures is in reach. But then there's other people whose wealth consciousness is even higher, and they're not focused on $100,000 in a year. They're saying, I can make $100,000 a month. But if you say to the person who's at 60,000 and thinks that 100,000 a year is probable, hey, you know that 100,000 a month is possible, they'll have a short in their circuit because they're conceiving of $100,000 over 12 months. This person is saying you can have that in 1 month. Ask me how I know. And I've been all of those people. I have been all of those people. My first job was nonprofit, family. My first job was leading a nonprofit. I was making $33,000 a year. That was my first job, a year out of college. That's like insane right now. That's where I started. I didn't start at some cushy corporate job. I was making $33,000 a year running a nonprofit. That's not even $3,000 a month. Crazy. Okay. But just because they can't see it for themselves doesn't mean that the possibility doesn't exist. Before you say yay or nay, make sure that you've gone to the top of your temple so that you can clearly see all of the possibilities that are in front of you. So you remember where supposedly Satan took Jesus to the top of the temple. You think Jesus was like standing on roofs in Jerusalem? When he said go to the top of the temple, what is the top of the temple? The top of the temple is our highest level of thinking. And our highest level of thinking, we know that all that we see can be ours. But The trickery is when we try to possess all of that instead of use it for greater good. That was the trick. When we go to the top of our temple, it is not Jesus standing on the top of a building or a church in Jerusalem. It is saying, elevate to your highest level of consciousness. Tell me what you can see. And the devil or the selfishness in us would say, I can have all of this, which is true. But on the flip side, when we're moving in righteousness, the goal isn't for us to have or possess anything. It is for us to use it for the greatest good possible. And from that place of power, from the top of your temple, from that place of power, that's where your power is. That's where your imagination is. You declare with certainty what you want, what you will do, and what you won't do, what is yours and what is not. So I'm going to read that again. Before you say yay or nay, make sure that you've gone to the top of your temple so that you can clearly see all of the possibilities that are in front of you. And from that place of power, declare with certainty what you will do and what you won't do, what is yours and what is not. All right. So that concludes our reading for today and for this week. Yay or nay? Yes or no? Base self or best self? Every decision you make, you're at a fork in the road. And it's either going to lead you more towards your base self or more towards your best self. And I want you to be mindful of those thousands of decisions that you have every single day. You have thousands, okay? Every single day. And I want you to see the fork in the road. And to the degree that you can, I want you to choose your best self more often than not. And if you continue to do that with these small daily choices, guess what? You'll look up and you'll realize that you're actually living your best life. But if you continue to default to your base self, which seems like it's the easiest route, your base self seems like it's the easiest route. It's easier not to work out in the morning. It's easier not to eat healthy, right? It's easier to do those things, but they're going to create the most pain. They look easier now in the moment, but they're actually going to create the most resistance and pain in the near future. Taking the route towards your best self looks harder in the moment, but it actually leads to the path of least resistance. It is actually easier. The road less traveled is easier than the one that everyone is traveling on. When there's a lot of people traveling on one road at the same time, what is it called? When there's a lot of people traveling on one road at the same time, what is it called? It's called traffic, family. It's called traffic. Whereas if you took the road less traveled, even though there's not a crowd behind you, it's actually easier to go down the road less traveled. There's no traffic there. It's not paved, but it's your job to pave it. One of those songs, John Legend said, we're just ordinary people and we don't know which way to go. We're just ordinary people. Maybe we should take it slow. I have a remix. We're extraordinary people and we know which way to go. We're extraordinary people. Maybe we should pave the road. We're extraordinary people and we know which way to go. We're extraordinary people. Maybe we should pave the road. Pave the road. Oh, oh, oh. I'm not ordinary. I'm not ordinary, and neither are you. You can keep on pretending that you're ordinary, but you're not. You're a child of God, limited by time, space, reality, and the flesh. But through the power of our mind, we can bring out our brilliance. Ordinary people have ordinary income. Ordinary income is the highest tax income in this country. I don't want ordinary income. I want extraordinary income. I don't want a salary cap. Some of you are limited. You think that you climbing to the top of the corporate ladder and you getting to $300,000 a year is the ticket. You stuck on $300,000 a year when you were meant to be making $3 million a year. But you made it to the top of somebody's ladder. There's no corporate ladder that will ever reach the top of your temple. I don't care if your office is on the 120th floor and you got a corner office. There's no corporate ladder that will ever reach your full potential. They don't go that high. Corporate ladders don't go that high, family. So I want you to reach the top of your temple so that you can see what's possible for you in your life. And I want you to claim it, not claim it to possess it, right? But claim it to actually use it to bless, build, and breathe life into others. All right. So that concludes our reading for today. Please type your deepest insight from today's reading in chat. Please type your deepest insight from today's reading in chat. I see some people said the to-do list. Okay. Next week, we will be reading commandment number 5, which is how the rich and righteous ask for money and wealth. Okay. We're going to be talking about begging versus being. Right. I've already taught you some of that difference. For those of you who are asking others to send you books, I'm teaching the difference between begging versus being. So next week, we're going to start with the problem with vision boards. I know a lot of you created vision boards in the past 2 weeks, and I'm going to tell you what the problem with vision boards is. And so that's where we'll be starting next week. We'll be on commandment number 5, page 181. For those of you who joined us or joined us late, you have stepped into Read Rich and Righteous. We are here every weekday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, reading about 5 to 8 pages from the book. This is Spiritual Secrets of Mastering Money Manifestation in Your Mind. I wrote this book at the beginning of COVID, or it was divinely downloaded to me and through me to make sure that we didn't slip into poverty consciousness. And 6 or 7 weeks ago, I got a nudge from God that said, Jullien, read your book out loud to folks. There's no requirement for you to have the book to be here. You can just show up here. Okay. But if you would like a physical copy of the book, you can go to getfreenow.com, getfreenow.com. That's where you'll find the links to the book. It does cost $100. You get 5 copies, though. If you go to Amazon right now, it's $100 for one. Okay. But at that link, you'll get 5 copies for $100. Plus, you'll get the Rituals Workbook, which will help you anchor in all these principles into your life. And for instance, like here at the end of today's reading, there's an exercise in the Rituals Workbook that you were meant to complete in alignment with that. So the Rituals Workbook helps you anchor in all of these teachings, bringing heaven on earth. And then you also get the audiobook. So that's that. So set a phone alarm, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Today we did read, what did I say? 600 people, 609 people. When I did a quick addition, we broke a record today. We keep on expanding week after week after week, day after day after day. Why? Consistency. Yeah, I'm saying yes. You are saying yes every single day. You see what is manifesting when we are consistent with our yes, that is moving us towards our best life. Now, got some other things that you can plug into today. First and foremost, Generational Wealth Conference is happening in Atlanta on MLK weekend, the 13th through the 15th. And there are live stream tickets available. I just got the live tickets reopened. So if you are in the Southeast, right, and you missed out on getting a ticket to come to the event live, right, you can go to getfreenow.com. Getfreenow.com. You'll see the Generational Wealth Conference button there, and you can go get a live ticket or a live stream ticket. So if you've been here and you're on the West Coast and you're like, Jullien, I can't fly out there at this moment in time, you can get a live stream ticket. So live stream tickets just opened up earlier this week. Again, all of that information is at getfreenow.com. All right. At Gen Wealth Con, I'm bringing together some of my dopest friends and family to educate you on real estate, entrepreneurship, tax strategies, life insurance, and a whole bunch of other things to make sure that you can actually step into the abundance, that you can bring these principles into your reality. And it's going to be over 1,200 of us here at the Georgia International Convention Center. We're doing it real big this year, and I would love for you to be a part of that. Okay, so here we're working on the mindset. There we're going to be working on how you take this mindset and actually put it into actual reality. What asset class is going to be the best asset class for you to grow and multiply and manifest your wealth? So that's what we'll be discussing at Generational Wealth Conference. And then last but not least is 100 Dope Men and 100 Dope Women. I am redesigning the entire dating process to make sure that those of you who are rich and righteous can find each other. You know, I'm trying to create excuse my language. I'm creating the wealthiest family in the world. And that's on wax. Okay. I'm creating the wealthiest family in the world. That's 100,000 people at $1 million at least in net worth. That's $100 billion. That would make us the 5th wealthiest family in the world. And so I'm committed to that for 30 years, long-term vision. Right. And so I know that in order for that to happen, we can't just have a whole bunch of rich individuals, right? We have to have rich families. Families run the world, not individuals. And so redesigning the dating process and the courting process to make sure that we stop burning each other, that we actually heal from our past relationships, that we experience trauma in, that we generate self-love, and that we are able to find the right partner for us that is actually operating on the same frequency. I already told y'all before, your husband and your wife actually might be in the chat right now. I mean, how many people are actually waking up at 8:30 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and actually trying to get this wealth consciousness? That alone is a level, a criteria to weed other people out. Because if the person that you are visually attracted to isn't aligned with you vibrationally, meaning that they aren't in a space like this, they would never wake up to be somewhere like this, then guess what? That's probably not going to work. That's probably not going to work. So keep your eye out. Look at people's profile pictures. Go ahead and click away. Click away. Not during the teaching, though. After. Okay. Go ahead. Get your little screenshots in of their username, they handle. Go ahead. Get your screenshots in when you see them chat, and go follow up. Go follow up. But no, if you're interested in that, go to getfreenow.com. Again, that's getfreenow.com. Bucky said, my wife is in the chat right now. Claim it. I don't know if his actual wife is in the chat or he claiming that. I don't know if he's speaking that into existence or she's actually there. All right. So again, that's at getfreenow.com. The links to say that you're interested, to fill out the interest form. It's 100 dope women or 100 dope men. You fill out the interest form, and that's going to start in February, family. That's going to start in February. My sister Ra and my brother Kazi are going to be leading that initiative. I don't have that part figured out, y'all. I'm initiating the initiative, but they are the experts. Ra is a healer, and Kazi is a matchmaker. So with her divine feminine and his divine masculine coming together to guide you all through that process, it's going to be really, really powerful. All right. So book is at Money and Men. Everything's at getfreenow.com. The book, Jen Welcon, 100 Dope Men and 100 Dope Women. All of it's there. So go to getfreenow.com. For those of you on Instagram, that is in the link in my bio. And for those of you on YouTube, you can open up another tab and go to getfreenow.com. Again, that's getfreenow.com. Everybody have a great, great weekend. Actually, we don't call it a weekend. It's a strong end. We're going to end strong, right? So enjoy yourself over the next 2 days. We will be back here on Monday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be starting money commandment number 5, which is how the rich and righteous ask about money. All right. So I appreciate you. Love you all. Have a blessed day and go focus on your to-do list. All right. Set a phone alarm. I'll see you 8:30 a.m. Eastern on Monday. Peace.